I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that new year, new you attitude that you're feeling is not going to last if you are still trying to use those old traditional methods of goal setting. If you're frustrated because the vision board parties that you've attended in the past and the vision boards that you've created have not yielded fruit, and you get to the end of the year and you realize that you haven't even looked at the vision board all year long, or at least to any degree that it has helped you achieve any of your goals, or maybe you are just upset with yourself because you've yet to master those habits of successful people. Not to worry, I've got something for you today. Stick around. In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why you're not getting where you want to be with your goal setting and some of those traditional methods. I'm also going to talk to you about some of my own personal mistakes that I've made and why I think they didn't work for me. I think you may resonate with some of these things. And then lastly, I'm going to talk to you about a great new tool or a strategy, if you will, for goal setting in a way that is really conducive to some of the things that I have been talking about in previous years and your personal brand, and how to tie it all together so that this year you'll actually be able to get where it is you want to go. If you think that's something that you need, and the vision board parties and all the vision board talk that's going on here on YouTube is not working for you, keep watching to today's video. Let's dive right into today's video content, okay? The first thing that I want to talk about are the reasons that you may not have been able to meet your goals using some of those traditional ways of goal setting and tracking and et cetera, et cetera. The first reason is, I'm sure you've heard from other content creators, is because you're not being clear enough. You're not clear. You're very vague in the goals. It's very generic, very general. You're not putting any specificity to it. And as we all know, a SMART goal is specific. So with clarity, you have to get down to the nitty gritty. This is what happens if you're not clear. If you're not clear, you won't be able to stay focused. Therefore, you're not going to stay on track. Also, if you don't have a clear destination, you won't have a clear path to get there, which means you won't have a plan and you won't have the actions. You won't know what actions are necessary in order for you to work the plan. So again, you won't know how much effort it's going to take for you to do the things within the plan that go towards the goal that you set, whatever that is. Also, another reason for why you may not have been successful is that your goals are not in alignment with you, with your personal morals and values, but also it's not in alignment with your ability. A lot of times we, especially now that we have so many social media channels, we are seeing so many people in a space or doing things that we would like to do as well, or at least having a level of success that we would like to have for ourselves. And so we take off with goals that will get us where we think we want to be because of what we see, but we are not aligning that plan and the action to get us there with our actual abilities, and more yet, our actual values and morals. So therefore, it's a lot more difficult to stay in alignment or to, again, work the plan and do the actions required because it's so far from our more value compass, or maybe it is just so off from our actual strengths, and we find ourselves operating within our limitations, and it becomes a struggle and much harder to stay motivated and inspired to continue versus working in our strengths. So again, alignment could be the reason that you didn't really meet the mark. Another reason, and the last reason that I'll talk about here, is you don't really know what you need to stay motivated. You know that you want to get to a certain place. You can see the end game. You may have even created a plan of action to achieve the goal, but the actions required are not that fun for you. Again, maybe you're working out of a space of limitation and it's not operating from your strength, so then you don't get a sense of accomplishment. Your confidence isn't being built up because you're doing something that's outside of your realm of expertise. And so it's much harder to stay motivated. It's much harder to continue to be inspired when you're running up against so many roadblocks and when you're hitting so many walls and you're not getting those small wins. And so it's much more difficult for you to stay motivated. Well, if you know what causes you or what creates motivation within you, what inspires you and motivates you to take action, move forward, continue on, then you can incorporate a lot more of those things in the way you approach the actions. You can incorporate those motivational actions into the plan so that your plan will work and the actions that have to take place within that plan are going to be easier for you to accomplish. Okay, I promised you that I would share with you some of my own past mistakes, and boy do I have a ton of them. But I'll tell you about 3 things that I have tried because I think they are pretty common, and I think if this video appealed to you at all, this is also going to resonate with you and it should be helpful. The first thing that I have done year after year after year with my family, with friends, is create a vision board. I talked about that at the top of the video. I have gone to vision board parties. Now, this is something that I love to do. I'm a social butterfly, so I love being in community and creating. I'm also a creative, so again, it works well for what I enjoy doing. Problem, however, is once I've created this beautiful vision board and I've talked about it and I've shared it with my family and I'm excited about it, by the middle of February, maybe I get to March, it's tucked away behind a door. The 2 that I'm sharing with you today were behind my headboard in my bedroom, and they were from like 3 or 4 years ago. And so they end up somewhere where I don't see them. I'm not constantly looking at them, out of sight, out of mind. There's really no, really nothing that I have put forth to actually performing the tasks. I didn't even create a plan of action. I just had beautiful pictures on a board. So if I didn't have a plan of action, then that means I really wasn't taking action. So I really didn't use it. Another thing that I used was this amazing system called Create What Matters. Now, I think this is a phenomenal system. I truly enjoyed going through the process of determining what my goals needed to be. So it did get me a step further than the vision board did. And I was really excited about it the year that I did this particular process because it really showed me how my brain should be working towards setting the goals in the first place. And then it gave me an outline or a framework to take the action to achieve the goals. The problem with this one was there was no accountability. I am good at writing things down. I am good at organizing things. I am good at writing programs and providing advice to other people and knowing what to do. I'm great at knowing what to do. If I don't know, I'm great at finding answers. Where I fall short is taking what I know and getting down in the weeds with it. Again, I am a creative. I'm a very high level thinker. And to me, what that means is I can look at a big picture and I can tell you where all the pieces need to be on the board, what needs to be done. The challenge that I've had and admit to is getting in the weeds and actually doing those little black and white things, those little minute detailed things that are going to help me actually work the plan and get things done. And without some accountability, it's very easy for me to know what to do but not actually do it, or to do a version of it and not do exactly what needs to be done. So again, where this Create What Matters system was amazing, the process to creating the goals was amazing, where I had the most trouble was there was no accountability. And so because of that, I had a great, as you can see, I filled it out, chef kiss spectacularly. I had all the answers. I did all the things, but when it came down to the action, the plan, how was I going to actually work the plan? There was no accountability. There was nothing that was making me come back to it and ensure that I was doing those steps all the time, each month, all the things. So that's why that failed. Then lastly, the one I'll share with you is a spreadsheet that I got from a creator, Megan Menz. I think she's since married. I'm not quite sure what her married name is, but she was the content creator that talked about organization, admin things for your business, and I really enjoyed watching her as I was setting up the systems and processes for my business. And so one year she had this amazing revenue spreadsheet that she shared with us all, where it was basically a version of the Create What Matters program before its time, where she shared a spreadsheet and you tell what your overall annual goals are for your business, the services and products that you sold, and you got a price for what you should make that year if you were able to achieve all the goals that were your annual goals. Then it broke it down into quarters, then it broke it down into months. You had to say, okay, if I want this overall annual goal, what do I have to accomplish each quarter? If I want this quarter goal to work, what do I need to accomplish each month? If I want this monthly goal to work, what do I need to accomplish each week? And so that was amazing. I thought that was going to be the answer that would help me. The challenge I had with that was that it was digital, and it was one of those things that you had to track, and again, there was no accountability. There was only one place that I had this information. It was online. At the time, I did not have a tablet. I hadn't really successfully mastered Google Drive to the point that I had it on my phone as an app, and I recognized its ability to take it everywhere I went. So there just really wasn't an accountability piece here as well. And again, as I said before, I love doing the work of like figuring out what the goals are going to be and going through that process of breaking it down. But if there is no set game plan, or if there is no accountability, it doesn't work for me. Now that leads me to this new approach that I want to share with you, because I think this is an approach that regardless, I mean, you may be a vision board person, the vision board might actually work for you, but maybe it doesn't. And maybe having a planner is what works for you. Maybe it doesn't. The question is, how do you determine what will work for you, and then how do you stick to it and make sure that by the end of the year you are achieving the goals that you set for yourself? I think I came up with a really good strategy for this, and the approach is fairly simple. It's some things that I've shared with you in the past, but it's applying those things to your actual goal achieving, goal setting actions. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is establish a personal framework. Now, we talked about this a long time. I will put up here an index card where you can click on it. I have a video with the 4 pillars of your personal framework. It goes over the personal framework for you, so make sure you check that out, because you're going to need it for this particular strategy that I'm sharing with you. You need to establish your personal framework, because your personal framework is going to identify the real boundaries that you need to set for yourself, the real barriers that are contributing to your inability to get the job done. It's going to help you identify the real bounty that you want to offer, and it's going to help you identify the real breaking points that are preventing you from getting where it is you want to go. And so I'll define those 4, because those aren't the pillars, but that's kind of what I want, how I want you to apply your personal framework to your goal setting. So the boundaries are what you want to protect. These are your strengths. So if you know you want to achieve your goals, and you know that your strengths are going to be the things that help you get there, then you need to protect those at all costs. So what do you need to do to protect the things that you know for sure are going to contribute to you achieving your goals? That is where you need to set boundaries so that you can protect that. Those barriers are things that are preventing you from, they're the obstacles or the things that could potentially hinder you from achieving your goals. These are triggers that put you in a space that cause you to procrastinate, or they put you in a space that make you feel like you are an imposter, or they give you those limiting beliefs. Whatever it is, obstacles that are going to hinder you from going forward, staying motivated, being inspired, continuing on to achieve your goals. These are barriers, and you need to identify them. Your personal framework is going to help you do that. The bounty is the value that you're bringing to the table, and that is where you want to invest a lot of your knowledge, learning time, you want to put a lot of effort towards ensuring that you have all the fuel you need to put forth to do the things that are going to help you achieve your goals. So your bounty is the value that you want to share. It's the desire you have to give, to serve, to help, or whatever it is whatever your goal, however your goal is, wherever it fits in those things. And then lastly, those breaking points, or what are those non-negotiables? What are those things that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt you will not entertain throughout this year, because you know, A, they go against everything you believe in, or A and B, they're going to truly minimize the odds that you can achieve your goals. They could potentially wreck the whole thing for you. So what is that breaking point? So that's what I want you to do. That is what establishing your personal framework is going to help you do. The next thing is to identify your habits and triggers. What are you doing really, really good? Okay, what are you currently doing that is working, that is easy for you to do? It's automatic, it's part of who you are. You don't have to worry about it. Why does it work so well? Analyze it. Think about why it works so well, because there may be other things that you can apply it to, or other things that you can apply, to these strengths or add to the strengths of you being able to achieve your goals. And then how can you optimize those things for success? So what do you do well? Why do you think it works so well? Now, how can you optimize that for success in other ways? The next thing here is, what don't you do well? Like, where are you having your struggles? Okay, why doesn't it work? What is the reason that it doesn't work? You need to know why it doesn't work, because it could continue to be something that comes up. These triggers could be something that continue to come up, and you need to know that it doesn't work, be able to identify it, but then also be able to squash it when it happens, minimize the amount of times that it happens, just mitigate it altogether. And then what causes the bottlenecks? What causes the stopping points, the things that cause you to get off track and never come back? What are those things, those triggers, again, that are going to cause you to procrastinate or fall into a state of stagnation? Once you determine all those things and you know what your habits are and you know what your triggers are, the next thing you need to identify is a reward system. Because we all want rewards. We may be adults, but just like our kids, we want someone to tell us if we do a good job, we're gonna get the lollipop. Okay, so what is your lollipop? Could it be that at the end of a month, if you've been successful in taking the steps necessary for that month to achieve the quarterly goal, that you give yourself a treat? Or maybe you wait until the end of the quarter because you want to make sure that all 3 of those months you've hit the majority of those goals. Maybe you give yourself an 85% success rate each month, and then at the end of that quarter, you go do something nice for yourself. Maybe you buy something, maybe you go on a trip, maybe you get a massage, maybe you do a mani-pedi. Maybe you have a day of rest in the bed watching Hallmark movies. I don't know what your thing is. I liked all of them, actually. But you want to provide a reward system that is going to keep you motivated. That's why it's very important for you to know what motivates you. That's why the personal framework is so important. So here you want to know what you need to do and be your best, so that when you are your best, you can succeed in your goals for the month or the quarter. Now, when you're determining your rewards, think about when you are the most productive, okay? Because if you are doing things during that time, say you are an early riser, your brain is just pushing out great information, you're energized, and you do your best work in the morning, then make sure that the majority of the time you're getting up in the morning. Your personal framework, again, is going to help you identify the best time of day for you to learn, for you to teach, for you to rest. That's what your personal framework will help you do. This is important for your ability to stay focused, to be intentional with your day and with your time of work. And then I also want you to know what will be your stimulus, okay? How will you keep adding? What logs are you going to keep adding to the fire so that your flame will continue to burn? And that, again, is what is motivating you. Now, research shows that 80% of people who set goals abandon them within the first month. I don't want that to be you. That's why I said at the top of the year, your new year, new you attitude is not going to last if you don't implement some sort of a strategy to create the plan and work the plan and stay motivated throughout the year. It's not going to work. And I think this new strategy that I just shared with you is going to be very helpful. So I don't want you to be a follower. I want you to influence your community around you and show them that this is something that you can actually do. This is the time for you to be about it and not just talk about it. And that is what I plan to do this year. I told my husband I'm extremely nervous about this year because I want to be about it and not talk about it. So in this next video that I'm gonna share with you, I am sharing how I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. I want you to follow the steps that I took to make my dreams come true. And I think between that video, this next video that I want you to watch, and this new strategy that I shared with you today, I believe it is completely possible for you to be successful and achieve your goals this year. So in the next video, I want you to take a look at how I made my dreams come true, combine that information with the content that I shared with you in this new strategy so that your dreams can come true. All right, also, I am working on an amazing tool for you guys. I cannot wait, so make sure you stick around for next next week because it might be ready by then. But if not, it'll still be some more great content that's going to help you be the best version of yourself this year. I want you to be an amazing boss, okay? All right, see you next week, guys. Bye.